Welcome back to the channel. This is Crypto Wealth, and today we're going to be talking about Pulsechain Explained. What is Pulsechain? Pulsechain Explained, or what is Pulsechain? Something like that is what I will title this video. But we're going to be talking about one of the newest projects. In fact, it's so new that it's currently not officially released yet. This is the CoinMarketCap listing. As you can see, there's no ranking here. There's nothing here. The blockchain, the mainnet blockchain, has not even launched. Testnet has not even launched yet. But there's a lot of hype about this project. So a lot of people are saying, what's so great about Pulsechain? And so once I understood this, it made a lot of sense to me. Full disclosure, I am investing in Pulsechain. However, this is not financial advice for you. Don't take financial advice from a YouTuber. That would not be smart, and I don't encourage it, so please don't do that. However, if you love cryptocurrency, you love learning about cryptocurrency, and you love learning how to earn a passive income in cryptocurrency, do me a favor and smash that like button. With that being said, let's talk about Pulsechain. Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted you to know right up front, I think it's a good thing, but the Pulsechain community is a very large, passionate community. I am an outsider to that community. I'm not a total fanboy. I'm an investor. I want to see it do well. I think there's a lot of reasons for why it will do well, and I think it's difficult to make the case that somehow is not a needed use case in this space. But with that being said, you will see that some of my videos regarding this topic, as with a lot of topics, I can be somewhat objective. I can tell you the good with the bad, and I will share with you some of the bad towards the end of this video. But before we get into that, and I'll also share with you, kind of what to do and how to be able to purchase Pulsechain, because right now it's going to be difficult. But let's get into this. So what is Pulsechain exactly? I made this little diagram. So Pulsechain, just to explain this to you, Ethereum is the main project here, right? This is Ethereum. This is an Ethereum blockchain. Super simple, right here. Pulsechain is a fork of Ethereum. That just means that basically at some point the project forked, the main chain went one way, the new chain went the other way. That's all you have to understand. And two totally different ecosystems will be created. Of course, this is Ethereum. Over here, it just keeps going, new blocks, etc. This is the Ethereum alternative, and of which Pulse is an Ethereum alternative, and that blockchain continues to the right. And over here is the example of most Ethereum alternatives like Binance Smart Chain and Matic, and then Pulse. And we're going to talk about how Pulse is different. Now, I will tell you, I don't think that Pulse is going to be the Ethereum killer, but I do think that it's going to kill the other alternatives possibly. When I say kill, they're not going to go to zero. They're not going to cease to exist. But I think Pulse has an enormous potential to be far more popular than the Binance Smart Chain, than Matic, any of those Ethereum alternatives, other Ethereum forks. And I'll explain exactly why in this video. You have Ethereum. Ethereum ends up having very high gas fees. The London fork just went through. Gas fees are still pretty high. I just did a transaction a while ago. It's just not usable to have gas fees that are, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40. A few months ago, it was as high as $100 for a freaking transaction on Ethereum. That's just not usable. But Ethereum has been around for a long time. It's a very well-established ecosystem. There's all these dApps, like you got just to give you a couple examples. Over here, you got Uniswap, for example, right? You got Uniswap, for example. Something like MakerDAO. There's a lot of them, right? There's a lot of these dApps that have been built off of Ethereum. Ethereum exists so other decentralized applications can run on top of it. That's the entire purpose for Ethereum. But it's gotten clogged up. It runs really slow, and the gas fees are very, very expensive. There's a lot of reasons for this. One of the reasons is congestion. The other reason is because the amount of gas, the gas limit per block size. If you don't know what that means, you just need to know that it makes fees expensive. The other Ethereum alternatives like Matic, for example, or Binance Smart Chain, what they did was they increased the gas block size, maybe a few more tweaks, but the biggest thing they did was increase the gas block size. They launched a brand new clean chain. So they removed the Uniswaps. They removed the MakerDAOs. And right away, and we saw this on the Binance Smart Chain. On Binance Smart Chain, transactions were almost free immediately. Everybody flocked to it. It was awesome. Transactions were super fast. They were super cheap. Today, transactions on Binance Smart Chain have went up in price. There's still a transaction could cost you, 30 cents or so on the Binance Smart Chain. Transactions are slower. There's a lot more congestion. Why? Because dApps have got created. They come over here, there's no Uniswap, there's a PancakeSwap. There's no MakerDAO, but there's probably a MakerDAO alternative. There's other dApps over here, and lots of other dApps. What makes Pulse different? Pulse is an Ethereum alternative, but here's what makes it very different. And I think this is going to lead to adoption. So right now there's a situation where, and I could make a whole video on why I think Pulse can succeed, and I could make a video on why it could fail. But anyway, what makes Pulse different and what's going to make it, I believe, have far more adoption is that it is also a fork of Ethereum. But Pulse is keeping the Uniswap. You see, it's not that PancakeSwap is a clone of PancakeSwap is a clone of Uniswap, but it's a totally different set of entrepreneurs. Basically, Ethereum got forked. Somebody else came along and said, "Oh, we'll take Uniswap's code. We'll put it on PancakeSwap." That's literally what they did. Totally different set of entrepreneurs stealing the code. I guess you can't say stealing it. It's open source. Taking the code, launching their own business, which is fine. But now you're creating more competition between the two chains. Not only are you creating competition between the chains, you're creating competition between the businesses on the chain. MakerDAO does not exist on the Binance Smart Chain. It doesn't exist on Matic. There's other dApps. So again, you're creating not just competition between one chain versus the next, but you're also creating competition among the dApps on the chains. Pulse is going to launch with basically the blockchain upgrades of all the other alternatives, but it's also launching with all of the dApps that exist already, like MakerDAO, for example, would probably still exist on Pulse. So you have the blockchain alternatives, Ethereum alternative blockchain, but you have all of the legacy infrastructure, essentially the decentralized part of the legacy infrastructure of this blockchain is still going to be included on Pulse. Why is that a big deal? Well, it's a big deal because I think it's going to increase more adoption. So it's going to be faster and cheaper to transact currently than the best Ethereum alternative that exists on the market right now. At least that's the goal. And that goal is happening because of block size. It's happening because there's a lot of technical reasons why that's happening. We know that it is going to be the most competitive. And we also have pretty good reason to believe it's going to be the fastest and the cheapest. Not only is it going to be the fastest and cheapest, it's going to include a clone of every project on Ethereum. So there's going to be a decentralized Uniswap. So the Uniswap devs, they can choose to ignore it over here if they want to, but they're going to easily be able to benefit from the Pulse ecosystem, and they have to do almost nothing. I mean, their whole decentralized application is already set up. It's going to be already set up on Pulse. Pulse is not just forking the Ethereum chain, it's forking the entire Ethereum ecosystem, and it's still going to offer faster, cheaper transactions. That's the goal of Pulse. How do you get Pulse? Let's talk about that for a moment. We've explained what Pulse is. How do you get it? It's not even launched yet. They had this whole sacrifice phase, which is interesting, and it's, I don't know of many projects that have launched like this, but that's ended. So since Pulse has not launched yet, the sacrifice is over. There's no way to get Pulse at this time. Now, I will tell you what you want to do is you want to be on the lookout for when the mainnet goes live. If you want to know how to get Pulse, I recommend you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, and click all, because I'm going to be following this project. So as soon as we find out that it's going to get launched, then I'll be able to let you know when mainnet is launching. Once the mainnet is launched, shortly after that, we're going to be able to have markets set up, and we'll be able to buy Pulsechain, probably be able to bridge some Pulsechain. Now, I'll tell you what you can do right now if you want to take advantage of this ecosystem, and it's really, there's really no risk to this. I mean, there's no more risk than just holding Ethereum. You will get free Pulse just for holding Ethereum in your MetaMask or any wallet that you control the keys to. Not only will you get free Pulse, I told you they're going to fork this entire ecosystem. That means if you have Ethereum over here, you're going to have a Pulse version of Ethereum over here. You heard that right. Every single token that you have over here, there's going to be a Pulse version of it over here. You're going to get, they may call it P-ETH. In fact, I think that's the plan to call it. So you'll have Ethereum over here. You'll have a P-ETH over here. The question is, what will it be worth? Will it have the same value on Pulsechain as it has on the current Ethereum chain? It's hard to say. Nobody actually knows. But based on history, it's probably going to have a value of something. Somebody's going to be buying it. Somebody's going to be selling it. Somebody's going to be speculating on it. So it's going to be very interesting. You don't actually have to buy Pulse to be able to interact with the ecosystem. Just have an Ethereum wallet. Whatever ERC20 tokens or Ethereum-based tokens you have, you're going to have duplicate copies on Pulse. Now, here's the thing. I'll tell you why I'm bullish on Pulsechain, and I'm going to tell you some of the concerns I have. So the reason that I'm bullish on Pulsechain is because I think they're going to encourage mass adoption far better than the alternatives. The ecosystem is going to be in place. That's a big deal. Plus, people who get free Pulse, because everybody who owns Ethereum will get just a little bit of free Pulse, like a tiny bit. That's going to create some curiosity. But the real thing isn't that they get free Pulse. It's if they have a lot of Ethereum-based tokens or a lot of Ethereum, they're going to get P Ethereum or P whatever, tokens they have. If you have Uni tokens, you're going to have a Pulse version of Uni token. Literally, those tokens are going to have some sort of value at some point, and that's going to be enough curiosity for people to want to check out the Pulse chain. I think those are two main reasons the Pulse chain Telegram is so big. The Pulse chain Telegram is in tens of thousands. It is one of the most active, it's the most active, the most passionate community I have ever seen on Telegram, period. In any industry, in any niche, period. And I think the reason is because people know, like, this is going to attract a lot of attention. It's going to be faster. It's going to be easier. It's going to be cheaper. That's the biggest thing than any ETH alternative right now. That's the first big plus. That's the promise. That's what the goal is. The second thing is it's going to have the entire decentralized ecosystem copied onto the Pulse chain. So those ecosystems are already going to exist. There's already going to be a Uniswap, etc. The third reason is because so many people are going to get free tokens on the Pulse chain that they're going to want to check it out just to see if those tokens have a value. If the tokens have a value, and at some point they will, they're going to probably trade them on Uniswap. They're going to firsthand know how fast the transactions are, how cheap they are, and they're going to recognize that this is very similar to operating on Ethereum, just faster, cheaper, and in a lot of ways better. All that being said, what's the concern? Again, not financial advice, but what is the concern? The concern is it's not launched yet. It's still got to launch. And although we all know what the promises are, we won't really know how it's going to work until it's launched. So the big thing is right now, those of us that have sent in tokens as sacrifice, they've just been sacrificed. We've got nothing back. We have no guarantee that we'll get nothing back. We don't have an exact date on testnet, mainnet. We literally don't know. So at this very point in time, we have to wait and see. And then once it launches, we have to wait and see how well it works. No one's ever forked the entire ecosystem. To say that this is going to exist without risk would be, crazy. If it gets pulled off, I think this has the potential to be huge. So if you miss out on the sacrifice and you want to know, you want to follow this project and you want to see what's going to happen, you want to know as soon as it goes for sale, how you could buy it, that sort of thing, make certain that you subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be following this project very, very closely. I'm going to do some in-depth video on my price prediction for the Pulse chain. What do I think it can do and why? So if you like hearing that kind of commentary, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification icon and click all. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're bullish on Pulse Chain, do me a favor and smash that like button, because this project can't succeed if people aren't aware of it. And I believe that cryptocurrency needs a project like this to be successful. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here first. We are here early. We are on the cutting edge of the latest technology, not just in crypto, but in the decentralized financial crypto space. Hey, thank you so much for watching. This is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.